At times, a heartfelt sob session is just what the soul needs. And there's no better source than the deeply emotional world of anime movies and series. Longtime enthusiasts of Japanese animation are well aware that these heart-wrenching narratives have been stirring emotions for years. Whether you're seeking a poignant reminder, in the mood for a somber tale, or have a penchant of stories of loss, this compilation is tailored for you. This assortment spans the emotional spectrum from the sorrows of sibling bonds to the despair of doomed love affairs. From the eerie sadness of science fiction to the gloom of detective stories steeped in tragedy. We offer a unique shade of sorrow to suit every preference. So arm yourself with a tissue box and prepare for an anime marathon that celebrates the cathartic beauty of sorrowful storytelling. Flavors of Youth is an anthology that weaves together three poignant tales of youth, love, and the passage of time, set against the backdrop of China's vast and varied landscapes. In the first story, we follow Xiaoming in the Hunan province and Beijing as he reflects on cherished memories with his grandmother, encapsulated with a shared love for Sanxian noodles. The narrative captures the essence of nostalgia, as Xiaoming grapples with the closure of his favorite noodle shop and the inevitable changes that life brings. His journey is marked by a search of the flavors of his childhood, which leads him back to his roots and to a bittersweet reunion with his dying grandmother. Xiaoming's story is a tender ode to the past and an acceptance of the future, symbolized by the simple yet profound experience of savoring Sanxian noodles. The second story transports us to Guangzhou, where we meet Yi Lin, a fashion model whose life takes an unexpected turn. After a series of personal and professional setbacks, including a rivalry with an emerging competitor and a fainting episode at a crucial fashion show, Yilin finds herself at a crossroads. With the help of her sister, Lulu, a student in clothing design, Yilin embarks on a transformative journey. The climax unfolds in an abandoned factory turned into a runway, where Yilin rediscovers her passion for fashion. Thanks to a red dress designed by Lulu, their story is a celebration of resilience and the power of sisterhood. The final tale is set in the evolving urban landscape of Shanghai, where Li Mo and Xiao Yu's friendship blossoms into romance through the exchange of cassette tapes. As they navigate the challenges of distance and family expectations, their bond is tested. Li Mo's dedication to joining Xiao Yu at an elite high school is met with heartbreak when he discovers her sacrifice for their relationship. The story culminates years later, with Li Mo as an architect, when a chance discovery leads to a poignant realization and a hopeful reunion. In a touching post-credits scene, the characters from each segment converge at an airport, their lives intersecting in a moment of serenity. They stand as testaments to the enduring human spirit, finding contentment in the simple joys of life and the promise of what lies ahead. Flavors of Youth is a mosaic of emotions, beautifully capturing the universal themes of growth, memory, and the enduring impact of our connections with others. In the animated tale of Mirai, a young boy is named Kun, finds his world turned upside down with the arrival of his baby sister, Mirai. Born into a family with a mother who is an executive and a father who is an architect, Kun's early years are filled with joy and imagination in their Yokohama home, designed by his father around a majestic tree. His days are spent playing with Yuko, the family dog, and his beloved toy trains. However, the birth of Mirai, whose name means future in Japanese, brings a shift in the family dynamics, sparking jealousy in Kun as he grapples with the loss of attention. Kun's frustration boils over into tantrums, particularly as his father transitions to working from home and his mother resumes her office job. In a moment of anger, Kun retreats to the garden, where he encounters a peculiar man claiming to be the house's prince. This man, who bemoans the loss of attention since Kun's birth, is revealed to be Yuko in human form. A magical transformation occurs when Kun attaches Yuko's tail to himself, turning him into a dog. The family celebration of Hinamatsuri, or Girls' Day, see the traditional dolls displayed to wish Mirai well. However, Kun's father forgets to put the dolls away, which, according to tradition, could delay Mirai's future marriage. In his ongoing frustration, Kun meets a teenager in the garden, who introduces herself as Mirai from the future. Here to ensure the dolls are stored properly to prevent any delay in her life milestones. Kun's journey of self-discovery continues as he travels through time, encountering younger versions of his mother and great-grandfather and even a future version of himself. Each encounter teaches Kun valuable lessons about empathy, perseverance, and the intricate tapestry of his family's history. He learns of his father's childhood struggles, his mother's changing interests, and the wartime injury that shaped his great-grandfather's life. The story culminates in a fantastical fight with a future Mirai, where Kun gains a deeper understanding of his role as a brother and the importance of family. With a newfound maturity and open-mindedness, Kun embarks on a family trip, ready to embrace the adventures that lie ahead with a compassionate and understanding heart. In the poignant anime Your Lie in April, the story unfolds around Kosei Arima, a 14-year-old piano prodigy whose life is steeped in music and acclaim. After triumphing in numerous competitions, Kosei's world shatters when his mother, Saki, passes away, leading to a mental breakdown during a recital. This traumatic event leaves him unable to perceive the sound of his piano, despite his hearing remaining intact. 2 years pass and Kosei's world is devoid of color and music. The piano sits untouched, symbolizing his unresolved trauma. His days are spent in the company of his friends Tsubaki Sawabe and Ryota Watari, without any particular drive or ambition. That is, until he crosses paths with Kaori Miyazono, a vibrant and unorthodox 14-year-old violinist whose passionate approach to music revitalizes Kosei's artistic soul. Kaori's influence rekindles Kosei's connection to the piano, teaching him that music can be liberating and transformative. Despite his growing affection for her, Kaori's attention seems directed towards Ryota. As the narrative progresses, Kaori's health falters, leading to hospitalization and a revelation of her anemia. She invites Kosei to accompany her in a performance, but her worsening condition prevents her from attending. In her absence, Kosei's performance with another friend inspires Kaori to undergo a dangerous surgery, hoping to share the stage with Kosei once more. Tragically, during Kosei's climactic performance at the Eastern Japan piano competition, he senses Kaori's presence and comes to the heart-wrenching realization that she has passed away during the operation. In the aftermath, Kosei receives a letter from Kaori, posthumously delivered by her parents at her funeral. The letter unveils Kaori's secret, her awareness of her limited time and her determination to live fully, both in life and through her music. She confesses her long-standing love for Kosei, inspired by his music since childhood, and her reason of affection for Ryota, as a means to grow closer to Kosei without hurting Tsubaki. In her final words, Kaori declares her love for Kosei, leaving behind a photograph of her younger self, unknowingly connected to Kosei even. Tsubaki promises to remain by Kosei's side, offering solace as he frames the cherished photograph, a lasting memento of their intertwined destinies. In the heart-rending anime Clannad, we follow the life of Tomoya Okazaki, a disenchanted high school senior whose life is marred by a strained relationship with his father and the loss of his mother. Tomoya's monotonous existence is disrupted when he meets Nagisa Furukawa, a persistent girl repeating her senior year due to illness. Nagisa's dream to revive the school's drama club sparks a change in Tomoya, drawing him out of his apathy, and he decides to help her. As the story progresses, Tomoya and Nagisa, along with her friends, face various challenges in re-establishing the drama club. Despite the student council's initial opposition, they succeed, and the club becomes a vessel for Nagisa to express a mysterious dream that has haunted her since her childhood. Tomoya, working behind the scenes, discovers that Nagisa's dream eerily mirrors his own recurring dream of an illusionary world, hinting at a deeper connection between them. The narrative weaves through the intricacies of family, dreams, and the struggles of adolescence. Tomoya and Nagisa's relationship deepens, culminating a poignant confession of love during the school festival. However, their happiness is short-lived as Nagisa's health deteriorates, leading to a tragic outcome that plunges Tomoya into despair. Years pass, and Tomoya remains lost in his grief, unable to connect with his daughter, Ushio, or find purpose in life. It takes the unwavering support of his friends in a confrontation with his own father to jolt Tomoya from his stupor. In a moment of redemption, Tomoya embraces his role as a father, rekindling the bond with Ushio, and in doing so, reconnects with his dreams and memories of Nagisa. Clannad is a tale of love, loss, and the enduring bonds that define our lives. It is a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming sorrow, there is hope for renewal and the strength to move forward. Tomoya's journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and transformative power of love and family.
A Silent Voice tells the story of Shoya Ishida, a mischievous boy who often causes trouble. When Shoko Nishimiya, a deaf girl, transfers to his class, Shoya starts bullying her because of her differences. Shoya's cruel actions, along with the participation of some classmates, make Shuko suffer greatly. Eventually, Shoko is forced to transfer schools because she can't endure it anymore. After Shoko leaves, the classmates turn against Shoya, blaming him for what happened. Shoya becomes the victim of ostracism and bullying, experiencing loneliness and regret for his actions. He has no friends and lives in the pain of his past, unable to forget what he did. Many years later, as a grown-up who realizes his mistakes, Shoya decides to find Shoko to apologize and make amends. He embarks on a challenging journey to seek forgiveness from Shoko and from himself. Along the way, Shoya reconnects with some old classmates and makes new friends, gradually overcoming his fears and past trauma. The story continues with Shoya's efforts to rebuild his relationship with Shoko. Both characters must face painful memories and find ways to understand, accept, and reconcile with their past. Through this process, they learn the importance of forgiveness, love, and rebuilding their lives. A Silent Voice is not only a story about redemption and forgiveness, but also a lesson about friendship, compassion, and mutual understanding. The story emphasizes the importance of confronting past mistakes and seeking reconciliation, not only with others, but also with oneself.
In the introspective anime, The Garden of Words, the story is centered around Takao Akizuki, a 15-year-old high school student in Tokyo with aspirations of becoming a shoemaker. During the rainy season, he often skips morning classes to sketch designs in the serene Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. It is here that he encounters Yukari Yukino, a mysterious 27-year-old woman who is also skipping work, indulging in beer and chocolate. Their chance meetings in the garden on a rainy mornings become a sanctuary, where they share conversations and poetry, yet they never exchange names. Takao, intrigued by Yukari's elegance, decides to craft a pair of shoes specifically for her. As the rainy season wanes, so do their meetings, and Takao dedicates himself to his craft. The story takes a turn when Takao discovers that Yukari is a literature teacher at his school, who has been absent due to being the subject of office gossip and bullying. Yukari's retreat to the park was respite from her troubles, a place where she hoped to find the strength to walk again. Their relationship deepens when Takao learns the meaning behind the poem Yukari recited and responds with its corresponding verse from the Manyosho, a collection of Japanese poetry. A thunderstorm leads them to Yukari's apartment, where an emotional exchange reveals their complex feelings. Takao's confession of love is met with gentle rejection, due to their age and societal roles, leaving him heartbroken. The narrative concludes with Takao moving forward with his life, albeit with difficulty, while Yukari returns to her hometown to resume teaching. In a poignant post-credits scene, Takao, now more mature and determined, revisits the park, reads a letter from Yukari, and places the shoes he made for her on the bench, symbolizing his resolve to one day reunite with her after he has found his own path in life. The Garden of Words is a tale of unspoken affection, personal growth, and the transient beauty of human connections forged in the quiet moments of life. Erased is a tale of redemption, the unyielding bonds of friendship, and the relentless pursuit of truth, all woven together by the threads of time that Satoru navigates with unwavering determination. Erased follows the life of Satoru Fujinuma, a 29-year-old manga artist who possesses a unique ability he dubs Revival, which transports him back in time moments before a disaster occurs, allowing him to prevent it. This extraordinary power thrusts into him a series of events that reshape his life and the lives of those around him. In 2006, after Satoru saves a boy from a fatal accident, he is hospitalized. His mother Sachiko reminds him of a haunting incident from his childhood involving the kidnapping and murder of his friend Jun Shiratori. The very next day, Sachiko spots a man she suspects to be the true culprit of the crimes from years ago. Before she can act on her suspicion, she is murdered, and Satoru is wrongfully accused of the crime. In a twist of fate, a revival sends Satoru spiraling back to 1988, to his 11-year-old self. Realizing the connection between his mother's murder and the past, Satoru sees an opportunity to alter the course of history. He befriends Kayo Hinazuki, a loner and one of the original kidnapping victims, and seeks to protect her from her grim destiny. Satoru's efforts to change the future involve confronting Kayo's abusive mother and seeking help from his teacher Gaku Yashiro. Despite his valiant attempts, Kayo vanishes and another girl is taken. Back in 2006, Satoru, still under suspicion for his mother's murder, finds an ally and his co-worker Airi Katagiri. Together they discover that Kayo's fate has been altered, albeit slightly. A subsequent encounter with Sawada, a man privy to Sachiko's investigation, reveals that the true kidnapper remains at large. Satoru is arrested but manages to trigger another revival, sending him back to 1988 once again. This time, with the help of his friend Kenya, Satoru formulates a plan to safeguard Kayo by hiding her in the abandoned bus. Their plan is successful, and Kayo is eventually placed in protective custody. Satoru then turns his attention to preventing further potential abductions, growing increasingly suspicious of Yashiro's behavior. The climax of Satoru's journey occurs when he uncovers Yashiro is the murderer. In a harrowing confrontation, Yashiro traps Satoru in a car and plunges it into a frozen lake. Satoru awakens from a coma 15 years later, in 2003, with fragmented memories that gradually piece together, revealing Yashiro's identity as the killer. As Satoru reacquaints himself with his past and the people in it, including a grown-up Kayo, he faces Yashiro one last time. Yashiro, now a politician, plans to murder a leukemia patient named Kumi to frame Satoru. In a daring move, Satoru exposes Yashiro's intentions, leading to his arrest. Years pass and Satoru, now a successful manga artist, crosses paths with Airi once again, bringing his story full circle. In the anime Weathering with You, Tokyo is besieged by unrelenting rain, disrupting the rhythm of everyday life. Amidst this deluge, Hudaka Morishima, a runaway high school student, arrives in the city. Struggling to make ends meet, he finds work at a small publishing company. Meanwhile, Hina Amano, an orphan, is also trying to support herself and her younger brother. Their paths cross when Hudaka rescues Hina from unsavory characters, and they decide to stick together. Hudaka soon discovers that Hina possesses an extraordinary ability. She can bring out the sun whenever she prays. Seeing an opportunity amid Tokyo's strange weather, Hudaka suggests that Hina become a sunshine girl, offering her services to those in need of clear skies. Initially, their plan seems to work well, but they quickly learn that such power comes with significant consequences. As the weather takes a turn for the worse, Hodaka and Hina, along with her brother Nagi, find themselves on the run from the authorities. Hina's powers come at a personal cost. Her body begins to transform into water, a sacrifice required to restore the weather to normal. Despite the risks, Hodaka is determined to protect Hina. However, she disappears, and the relentless rain ceases. In a desperate attempt to find her, Hodaka escapes police custody with the help of Natsumi. The pursuit leads him to a shrine where Hina first gained her powers. There, Hodaka confronts Keisuke, his former employer, who ultimately aids in his escape. Hodaka reaches the shrine summit and leaps through it, finding himself above the clouds where he rescues Hina. As they descend, he implores her to live for herself, resulting in the rain's return without end. 3 years later, Hodaka, now off probation and a high school graduate, returns to a partially submerged Tokyo. He reconnects with Keisuke, who has prospered despite the perpetual rain. Determined to find Hina, whom he hasn't seen in years, Hodaka ventures out into the rain-soaked city. On a rainy day, he spots Hina praying across the street, and the two share a long-awaited reunion, suggesting a glimmer of hope amidst the endless downpour. The story of Weathering with You is a blend of fantasy and reality, exploring themes of sacrifice, the power of love, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of nature's overwhelming forces. In the enchanting narrative of Your Name, Mitsuha Miyamizu, a high school girl from the rural town of Itomori, dreams of escaping her mundane life and becoming a handsome Tokyo boy in her next life. Her wish takes an unexpected turn when she begins to intermittently switch bodies with Taki Tachibana, a high school boy living in the bustling city of Tokyo. They navigate their peculiar situation by leaving notes for each other on paper, phones, and even on their skin, inadvertently influencing each other's lives in profound ways. Mitsuha, in Taki's body, fosters a building romance between Taki and his co-worker Miki Okudera, while Taki in Mitsuha's body elevates her social standing at school. The body swapping leads to a poignant moment when Taki, as Mitsuha, partakes in a sacred ritual, offering Kuchi Kamizake at a shrine that symbolizes the town's spiritual essence and the interconnectedness of human experiences. However, the mystical exchanges come to an abrupt halt after Taki, back in his own body, fails to reconnect with Mitsuha. Driven by a sense of loss and an inexplicable bond, Taki embarks on a quest to find Itomori, only to discover the town's tragic fate. Struck by a fragment of a comet, the revelation that their timelines are separated by 3 years sets Taki on a desperate mission to alter the past and save Mitsuha and her town. In a race against time, Taki and Mitsuha, now aware of their deep connection and feelings for each other, orchestrate a plan to evacuate Itomori as they navigate the barriers of time and space. They experience a fleeting reunion during twilight, a magical threshold that allows them to meet in their own bodies. In a bittersweet twist, their memories begin to fade, leaving them with the urgent need to etch their names onto each other's hands as a means to remember their bond. The story culminates in a heart-stopping moment when Mitsuha, realizing Taki's message of love on her hand, makes a final plea to her father to save the town. The comet's destruction is inevitable, but the aftermath reveals a glimmer of hope as the residents of Itomori survive, thanks to the successful evacuation. Years later, Taki and Mitsuha, now leading separate lives, are haunted by a sense of longing for something or someone missing from their lives. Fate intervenes once more when they catch a glimpse of each other on parallel trains, compelling them to seek out the mysterious connection they once shared. Their search leads to a fateful encounter on a staircase in the city, where, feeling an inexplicable familiarity, they ask for each other's name, rekindling the bond that transcends time and memory. The tale of Your Name is a testament to the enduring power of love and the mysterious threads that weave the tapestry of human destiny. Grave of the Fireflies is a poignant and heart-wrenching tale set against the backdrop of World War II in Japan. The story begins with Seita, a young boy dying of starvation at Sanomiya Station in Kobe. His spirit, along with that of his younger sister Setsuko and a swarm of fireflies, narrates their tragic story. The narrative takes us back to the Kobe fire bombings, where Seita and Setsuko are left to fend for themselves, after their mother succumbs to fatal injuries from the air raid. The siblings find temporary refuge with their aunt in Nishinomiya. But as resources dwindle and tensions rise, they are compelled to seek independence. Seita and Setsuko move into an abandoned bomb shelter, creating a makeshift home filled with the innocence of children and fleeting light of fireflies. However, the harsh realities of war soon encroach upon their sanctuary. Setsuko's health deteriorates due to malnutrition, and despite Seita's desperate efforts to provide for her, she tragically succumbs to starvation. In a final act of brotherly love, Seita cremates Setsuko, preserving her ashes in a candy tin alongside her father's photograph. Seita's own life ends shortly after, a victim of the same unforgiving hunger. The anime closes in the present day, with the spirits of Seita and Setsuko looking out over a modern cityscape, a stark contrast to the devastation they endured. Their story serves as a haunting reminder of the ravages of war and the enduring bond between siblings. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the 10 saddest anime that will make you cry. Each story we've shared today holds a mirror to the complexities of life and the depth of human emotion. If you found yourself reaching for the tissues, know that you're not alone in feeling the impact of these powerful narratives. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. Share in the comments which anime moved you the most and why. Perhaps your story could be the comfort someone finds in their moment of need. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's okay to cry and let your emotions flow just like the rain in Weathering with You. Until next time, keep the spirits of the stories alive in your hearts, and we'll see you in the next video. Sayonara!